My name is Tony Ellis. I am the manager of University Federal Credit Union, the Mueller location. I am in the east side of Austin. I was born and raised here in Austin as well. My mom still lives right down the street from here. I grew up right down the street from Riverside, so I know this area. Now, it's changed a lot. This campus wasn't here when I grew up, but we're going to talk about financial foundations. So what makes UFCU special? Credit unions are member-owned. So meaning if you open up an account with a credit union, you have a voice in what we do, how we spend your money. If we charge a fee for something, that fee goes back into lowering rates for a car loan or increasing rates for savings accounts. We've been around for 85 plus years. How we started off was a couple of teachers at UT were just saying, hey, we don't like how things are being done at banks. We pulled our money together and we wanted to lend to each other. So that's what they did. 85 plus years later, UFCU is still here today. We have 16 branch locations here in Austin, some on the coast, and we're still expanding. Again, locally owned. We just had a shift in our leadership. Our president and CEO just retired. We promote from within, which is great. We do have fewer fees, and we're here to help you. The reason I've been here, and like I said, I've been at UFCU for 16 years, going on 17. The reason I'm at my credit union and at my location is because I get to do things like this. I get to come out into the community and just teach. I'm not behind my desk. I am not just telling my staff what to do and how to do it. I get to come out and just teach. So that's the real difference between a credit union and a bank. So what we're going to talk about today is what your financial needs are. When I was your age, I was raised by a single mom. She had 3 boys, and she taught me nothing about banking. One big difference about going to college today compared to when I went to college, you could go on a college campus, and this is what I did. I went on a college campus, had no job. My dad gave me an allowance of $100 a month. Now, that won't last me a week right now. When I went to Texas A&M campus, I walked on campus, and Discover gave me a $5,000 credit card with no job and $100 a month allowance. Does anybody want to guess what I did with that $5,000 balance? I had a girlfriend. She lived here in Austin. I was coming back every weekend. I spent it all immediately. Does anybody know what happens when you max out a credit card? No, you don't overdraft it with fees. Yes, you do pay more money, but do you know how? They do give you more money if you're paying it on time and you're keeping it at a low balance. So me being a dumb 18-year-old, I paid the minimum payment, which was about $50 a month, and that was not making a dent in that $5,000 balance at all. It charged off, and for 7 years, that was on my credit. So for 7 years, I had bad credit. My credit went, so it took me 7 years to rebuild my credit. They changed the laws for credit card companies, so they're not preying on young individuals like yourselves. And it allows me or somebody like Porphy or somebody like Clinisha to come into institutions like this to teach you about those predatory lenders. So that's my example. That's why I do something like this. So what we're going to do is talk about budgeting, give you an example of budgets and how to save. And we'll touch a little bit on credit. I have my ideas on credit, especially at a young age. I'm not going to push that on you, but you have to decide when credit is good for you. Who right now has a budget? Or let me ask you this question. Who has a job? Budgeting is all about not overspending, living within your means, and having financial well-being. So do you live paycheck to paycheck? When you get your paycheck, do you have any left over for by the time you get to your next paycheck? Whose parents still pay for everything? I know you think. Y'all are kids. That's fine. No, but that's the goal. When you're adulting, the goal is to have money left over for the time you get to your next paycheck. When you're budgeting, the goal is to pay yourself first. Your bills are your bills. They're not going anywhere. I can tell you being an adult sucks. It does. Nobody's going to tell you that. Your parents aren't going to tell you that. I have 4 children right now, 2 college graduates, 1 in the military and 1 who's currently in college. And my daughter who just graduated college, I'm telling her right now, do not grow up too soon. I want her to travel. I don't want her to go into her career anytime soon, because once you go into your career and you have to pay real bills, paying your rent, that is not fun. Like when you don't have money just to go and just spend it on anything. But as an adult, now that my kids are out and I don't have to, I can spend my money how I want to spend it. Like living in this time is fun, but it's going to come up. Being an adult is going to happen. So creating that foundation to start off the right way, that's what this is about. And that's why going to college, having a financial well-being and starting that saving mindset, spending the right way is what you want to create. When you're in college, or if you're not in college, when you have your job, what you want to do is understand what your living expenses are, looking at your budget, where your money's going. That's what you want to do. Who in here has a car? If your car breaks down right now, who's going to pay for it to get fixed? If your car breaks down, do you have money in your account to fix your car? That's all about budgeting. You took care of your bills and you're saving for an emergency. Budgeting helps you from overspending, create good spending habits, and preparing you for emergencies. It's flexible, so you can change it at any given time. If an emergency does happen and you have to, let's say your car breaks down, it's your budget. So you can change your budget at any given time. When you're looking at your budget, if you have a checking account, savings account, whatever, and you're wanting to create a budget, and we'll go into that, and what you want to look is your wants and needs. I'm going to talk about mine. My wants are my video games. I'm a gamer. I play my PlayStation, so that's my want. My needs, unfortunately, are my rent. I have to have a place to stay. My mom's not going to let me live with her again, and I don't want to live with her. She smokes. I'm not a smoker. I don't like that. So a good way to look at a budget is just prioritizing. Do you need that cup of coffee at Starbucks? Do I want it? Yes. Do I need it? No, because I can make free coffee at my branch, or I can make it at home, whichever. So I can save $5, $6 a day. So just prioritizing. Sometimes I may splurge and spend that money once. That's a treat. But I have to look at it long term, and looking at my account, if I do it every day, let's say $5 a day times 5 days a week, $25 a week times 4 weeks, that's $100 a month. Do I want to spend $100 a month on coffee? If it was my mom's money, yes. If it's coming out of my pocket, not so much. And then I have to look at, could that money been spent somewhere else? That's all a budget is. So when we're creating a budget, for us who have a job, like I said, first thing you do is want to track where your income is coming from. The easiest thing to do, especially if you have an account, is just pull up your bank statements. Look at your statements and look at, on a month-to-month basis, what does your income look like? What do your paychecks look like? And I can look at where my income's coming from. Next thing I do is look at my spending. I spend a lot. My statements look crazy. When it says look for a pattern of spending, this last month, I splurged a little bit. I kind of got in trouble, and I had to answer for it. Categorize your wants and your needs. So here's an example. They categorized everything by a want and a need. So next thing we do is, like, on your next part of your budget, identify what your problem areas are and identify what your goals are. It's not on that example of just splitting up what their wants and needs are of their spending. It's more of what do they want to save for? What's their goal of their budget? And then just remember that your budget is fluid. What it looks like in January may not be what it's going to look like in February. Things happen. Emergencies happen. My dog hurt her foot. I had to take her to the vet. That was $1,000 bill that I had to spend. My budget changed. I'm not going to let my dog suffer. Things happen. So for this budget, if you look at it, our example, our member has his income. He knows what he makes per month. He knows what his bills are. He knows what his wants and needs are. And he knows what his expenses are. And after deducting everything that he spent, he knows what he has left over. And then I like the next part of it. He identified opportunities to save money. And then by subtracting those, he has potential savings. But what do you do once you've saved that money? Where would you spend that money? Or what would you do with it? The journey's not over. You've saved this money, but once you're saving money, you're going to find a way to spend it. I'll be the first one to say, I paid my bills, but the moment I paid my bills, I can find money to spend. I'll find a way to spend that money again. I'm human. I will do it. I work for a financial institution, but I will find money. I'll find a way to spend that money. You have to save with a purpose. The goal is, once you've started saving, figure out what you want to save for. Is it for an emergency? Save for emergency. What's that emergency savings look like? I don't have the specific number, but I believe 50-60% of Americans don't have $500 in their savings account right now for emergencies. That hurts my heart. So that's why we have these classes. We want you to start saving for a rainy day in case something happens. One of my challenges, or what I see coming into my branch, is when somebody comes into my branch and they have an emergency and they're asking me to borrow $600 because they can't pay a bill and they've had all these overdraft fees because they live paycheck to paycheck. And I would rather reverse their overdraft fees than lend them that money and try to teach them how to balance their checkbook, then pull their credit and try to earn interest off that. We try to go through this. When you're saving with a purpose, understand what it is you're saving for. You can set up auto drafts. Like, I'm going to put away $25 out of my paycheck. How Luke is putting 20% away, he's putting 20% away in his savings account. You may not be able to put 20% away all the time. It may be $25, it may be $50, whatever that is. Save for an emergency. If you've saved for that emergency and that's done, then you're saving for new tires. Maybe it's a trip. Maybe you want to travel after you graduate high school. Maybe it's to pay off debt. But be strategic in what you're doing so that you have these goals and you're more motivated to complete these goals. When you're saving, have a purpose. Being a student, understand what you're saving for. Is it car repair? If you're applying for college, maybe it's a computer. It's to help with financial aid. When I look at what I'm saving for, it's more on the other side. It's for my vacation. It's for my car repairs. Just having a purpose in what you're saving for will make it more attainable for you. Now the fun part. We talked a little bit about credit. Yes, when you have a credit card, use it, pay the balance off, keep utilizing it, and those all make up your credit score, which your credit score ranges from 300 to 850. I've seen a couple of 850s. Those are unicorns. They're amazing. Those people can basically get whatever they want when they go in to apply for something. The 3 credit bureaus are Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And if you ever want to pull your credit, go to annualcreditreport.com. I highly recommend you pull your credit. The reason I'm thinking is identity theft. At this point, you should have nothing on your credit report. And if you pulled your credit today and you found something on your credit report, you need to dispute it immediately, because that can hurt you long term. As you're trying to build credit, let's say somebody used your social security number to open a credit card, turn on lights in their house, because people have to use a social security number to get lights, get a job, get their car insurance. Credit affects everything. So running your credit now, when I open up an account for a 10-year-old, I run their credit and I tell their parent why I run their credit. Their parents understand, and it's just for those reasons. So when we go into your credit, it's broken down into this. This is what makes up your credit score. Payment history. The best way to describe this is just pay your bills on time. It makes up 41% of your credit score. If you miss a payment, if it's late, 41% of your credit score. Just imagine that one payment that's 3 days late, how much it's going to affect your credit score. So your student loans, while you're in college, they will be deferred until you're out, but I'll say the government wants their money. They want their check. That's the best way to describe it. And they will find you. Credit mix and age, keep your credit card, because when you look at credit age, you've started so early. Let's say you're 28, 29, or 30. Let's say you're 30. And you don't need that credit card. I'm gonna just say your credit limit is $1,000. And now at the age of 30, you have credit cards that are $10,000. And you're like, I don't need that $1,000 credit card anymore. Now, if they're trying to close it, because some credit card companies will try to close it, but I should get some kind of notification. And if that's the case, I'm going to go use that card or tell them I lost it so they can give me another one. I'll go use it, pay that off, pay that balance. If you have that card that's you've had for years, just ask for a higher limit. Like if you've been that loyal to them, just keep asking them to increase that limit. They should want to keep your business, and they should want to do that. Because as your credit builds, they should want to keep you there. That should help you out. Utilization. This goes into what you're saying. What makes up utilization is your total balance owed and what's available. So what they're looking at is, I like to think of it this way. What do you have available to use? If you have an emergency, what do you have available to use on your credit? That's how I like to look at this. I have multiple credit cards for this specific reason. I just want my utilization just to be high. I don't want all my eggs in one basket. I don't want to just have one card. I just want to have multiple cards. That's just me. If you're ever looking at a credit card, one piece of advice I'll give you, always go to a bank. Never go to a department store and get a credit card. Go to your financial institution. They have better interest rates. In new credit, the more you apply for credit, it affects your credit score. So don't just go and, oh, I see a credit card here. I see an auto loan here. I'm going to keep building. I'm going to keep applying for credit. Every time you get your credit run, that's a hit on your credit. Now, if you apply for a car, in that 30 days that you apply for a car, they understand that you're probably not going to just go to one dealership. You're probably going to go to multiple dealerships. They're going to run your credit through a couple of other banks. If 5 banks hit your credit report in that 30 days, that's seen as one credit hit. That won't hurt you, but that's within that 1 30-day period. When you look at new credit, you're fine. Balances, when you're looking at your credit cards, your revolving debt, that's what credit cards are. If you can, pay off your balances. That's the goal. But if you can't, try not to keep a balance higher than 30% owed on your cards. The reason behind it, if it goes over 30%, it's going to affect your credit in a negative way. Simple as that. And finally, just your available credit. It's only 2% of your credit, but it'll affect you if you max out your credit cards and ask for another credit card. They just want to avoid individuals just going on shopping sprees and maxing out credit cards. I don't know where you are in your financial journey, but if you're looking to do some kind of investing at some point, just make sure you do your research before you start. I know there's a number of apps out there that will help you do it. Just if you're going to do it, look to see if they're going to charge you anything for it, because there's things to do for free. You don't have to pay these apps to invest. I would suggest just do your research. Make sure you have your emergency funds set up. You've been saving. You've paid your bills. You're in a good financial space before you start looking to invest. I've had so many members who want to go to this space first without being in a good financial standing. Are there any questions for me? If you have a financial institution, for example, UFCU, I have members who come in basically monthly. It's like, hey, can you pull my credit? We won't give you a copy of your credit report, but we'll go over it with you and we'll tell you your score. There's a difference between a hard pull, that's when you're doing it to do a loan application, and a soft pull. Annualcreditreport.com is a soft pull, so that's not ruining your credit. When we do it at UFCU and you're not applying for a loan, like I said, I have a member who comes in monthly just to see what his credit score is. That's just a soft pull. Now, if somebody comes in and is like, hey, I want to apply for a loan, we'll start the loan application. And before we run their credit, there's a statement we have to tell them, hey, we're going to do a hard pull on your credit. Do you want to proceed? So they understand that this is going to affect their credit. So we make that statement every time we pull somebody's credit that's going to affect it. Annual credit report, or if you go to a financial institution and you just want them to run your credit, that's a soft pull, that won't hurt your credit. Medical expenses used to affect people's credit in a negative way a lot. There have been changes in reporting of credit where it doesn't as much. I believe it's negligible now. Yeah, we used to have people that it was just bad, but the different credit bureaus just made changes to where that's not even a thing. If your job offers a 401k, especially if they contribute to it, do it. because I didn't do it when I started at UFCU and I missed out on that match. IRAs, which are individual retirement funds, especially that you can do at any financial institution, is an easy way for you to manage your own retirement. You usually can start that off with maybe $100, and then you can contribute to it at any time. Thank you for your time, everybody. I appreciate you. Y'all have a good rest of your day.